everybody. I'm very pleased to introduce Lindsay. Lindsay, who is a professor in London. And thank you very much, Lindsay, for your time and this insight. Hello.
Hello. Glad to be here today.
Could you introduce yourself? It's better than me.
I'd love to. I'm Lindsay Kohler. I'm the lead behavioral scientist at an employee engagement consultancy in London. I am a behavioral scientist, so I did my training at the London School of Economics, and I really focus now on bridging the gap between the insights and research that comes out of academia and bringing that into the world of work. So how do we take that insight and turn it into something practical that managers and employees can use every day in their working lives?
So we are very interesting about your ideas because you just write a book. Can you show how your book? Yeah. Okay, so it's even better if. Thank you. And we'd like to have the insight, the best idea of your book about the hybrid world. So can you give us or share about the three main idea of your book?
Sure. So the general idea is, how do we make the world of work even better? And that means thinking about all of the areas that make up our day-to-day lived experience. So whether my company is purpose-driven, how do we handle change, including communicating hybrid working policies? What does diversity and inclusion look like? How do we make that better? What do we need to watch out for in a hybrid world? And so on and so forth. So we have interviews with over 45 leading practitioners in the field, lending their insight, and we're really proud of how it's come together. But most of all, it's incredibly practical. There's lots of proprietary exercises, checklists, just things that you can really use every day as you navigate creating a better employee experience.
Thank you so much. So to your opinion, what are the best rules to collaborate in an hybrid world?
Yeah, so collaboration in a hybrid world is a very interesting question. And I think there's probably two or three main considerations. The first is how you choose teams, right? So when we were all remote, it was fine. We were on the same playing field. When we're all in the office, it's fine. We're on the same playing field. Hybrid opens up what could create silos between an in-group of people that are in the office and the out-group of people that are not. So one of the most important considerations in hybrid is how you're choosing your team and really making sure that it's inclusive and not just heavily weighted toward either all remote or all office space. I think another very important consideration is how you collaborate. So when we switched to remote, we went all online, all digital really quickly, and we did it poorly in most cases. So I think organizations now are really figuring out how to think of digital as an experience and not a channel. And there's even things that you can do with, interactive whiteboards so people that aren't in the room can participate. How are you adding more microphones so that everybody can hear? Even making sure everyone in the room perhaps dials in but is on mute so that they can see what's happening. And so it's all about, getting rid of this idea that we're all on Zoom and some of us are in a room together, and really thinking about enabling experiences. So I think if you nail who you put on the team and how you enable them to collaborate, you're going to be in a better spot than most.
Yes, thank you so much. So very interesting. So now if we think about the engagement, the motivation, when we are together in the same room, it's easy to see the body language and to have a teeny conversation. But when you are in a frog and full remote organization and you are in an hybrid world, how do you engage people?
Yeah, that's also a great question, because part of how we build relationships and create connection is via in-person interactions. And when we went fully remote, everyone asks this question, how do you replicate it? And the answer is you don't, for by and large. So what you have to do is figure out, how do we get people that aren't always on site? How do we get them on site for the moments that matter? So maybe it's onboarding, maybe it's a quarterly meeting, but they need to be given the same chances to build those relationships that only happen in person. It's little pieces of information that we don't even know we're subconsciously picking up. Sound, smell, heck, everybody that joined my company in the pandemic, I didn't know how tall they were because I'd never met them before. And there's all these funny pieces of information. So I think really being smart about how you can take your remote workers and bring them to the office, and also for your office workers, being smart about, well, what's the purpose of an office, right? It's not just a place we go to do our work. Is it a place to collaborate? And if so, how are we re-envisioning the way that we set these structures up to enable our best work? Because it's no longer, cubicles ain't gonna cut it anymore, because work is no longer a place that we go. The purpose of the office is different now. So I think in-person employees will really need to think about how they're using the office for connection as well.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. Thank you for all this idea, for your sharing, for your time. So we can have two main ideas. First, it's the importance of change, the incremental change. That means change little by little is very important if we want to improve the world and if we want to improve our practice in our company. And the second idea is it's different to collaborate and to engage in an office and in a digital world and in an hybrid world. And it's very important to ask the question, what is the best, what are the do and the don't about this question? And thanks to Lindsay, we have some conclusion and idea. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.